Sorry. Okay, welcome to the Cicero Special Town Board Meeting, Wednesday, November 17th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. If you would, please note there are two exits in the rear of the room and one to my right. And also silence your cell phones. Okay, welcome to the Cicero Special Town Board Meeting, Wednesday, November 17th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. If you would, please note there are two exits in the rear of the room and one to my right. And also silence your cell. Are we good? Okay, this time, please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing and remember those who are still in harm's way. Thank you. Okay, this is a continuation of the public hearing to consider the 2026 Town of Cicero preliminary budget, including the special districts. At this time, I wish to waive the reading of the notice posted and advertised at the proper time.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or passed.
6:31.
Anybody have anything to say before we start? No,
I appreciate, I was gonna say, I appreciate, Mr. Douglas, working with us today and his patience and, the information he provided for us as we made some, final adjustments to the budget. So thank you for your time. I'm sure you're busy and I appreciate it.
Do we want to let everyone know what the changes were?
Sure. I don't know if there was a. Mr.
Okay, I'll read it. Okay, the first is, this came in this morning from Councilor Bacallo that the town board contractual, minus 12,000, municipal court minus 2,000, supervisors contractual minus 2,000, comptrollers contractual minus 4,000, tax collector contractual minus 5,000, assessors contractual 3,000, clerks contractual 1,000, attorney's town attorney 2,000, engineer contractual 1,000, engineer contractual, I'm sorry, I already said that, 1,000, town hall supplies 1,000, special items 35,000. What was that for? Contingency? Okay. Brave fund, okay. Parks contractual 2,000, porta johns 2,000, beach wages 50,000. That is for lifeguards?
Yeah.
Okay. Historian minus 2,000. Miscellaneous safety 5,000. B fund contingency fund 115,000. 115, not 150. 115. Police contractual 5,000. Parks contractual 1,000. Zoning contractual 5,000, and garage contractual 20,000. Okay. I believe it was around $277,000 that was saved at that point in time in the vicinity. And then received another email after that one from Councilor Carp to add, it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, John, 2 new officers.
That's correct.
Okay. And then we added afterwards, we added their roll-ups, the retirement and their benefits.
Yeah, those not on the police budget. I didn't have the,
Okay. I don't have a.
I didn't have the numbers handy. I know that Mr. Douglas did. They're on there now.
They're
Yeah.
on there now?
Yep.
Okay.
There are also some concomitant reductions in the.
It was on there. You rolled right by it.
Right there. The police retirement and the medical insurance we're adding on that is an extra 85,000. Police vehicle reserve. So I'll go down this. I'll go in order so everybody can understand. 1950 was added to the longevity line. $236 was added to the sick timeline. The holiday pay line was 7,042. And 5,000 was added to the uniform allowance. 10,000 was added to the new personnel training. And we decreased $75,000 recruit to $20,000. I'll give you a little overview of that in a minute. And then there was a $20,000 addition to the SDK software, which would be beneficial to the police department and the zoning department.
The planning board. I mean,
Plan.
I'd like to think that other departments would make use of it too, but I think that is, we can talk about it. We
Yeah.
talked about that at a workshop. I know not everyone was there.
I did call another township and talk to the secretary or the supervisor at one of the towns, and they said that they have it, and they utilize it. I never got a hold of anybody else to give me a good or a bad with it, but they're signing on for a second year.
Yeah, and Officer Freeman was the one that found this, and he's done quite a bit of research on it, and I thank him for his work on that. I think it's a tool that will be invaluable to the town government in the future. Like I said, I think other departments, once they are familiar with it, will be able to make use of it, but especially police, zoning, and the.
And multiple departments, the other town that you called?
Only two for their zoning and planning and their police department.
That's the most obvious application, but I think that
Yeah,
others
when
could.
they use it for comps, like when when you're gonna build something somewhere, it gives you statuses on like traffic wise and speeds and stuff like that.
And you see the benefit? Chief?
They also did say that they still do use their speed radar signs in neighborhoods, that doesn't go away. They do that as well. On this part of it, what I would like the town board to also look into, and we can talk about a couple different things today regarding this, that I think it would be beneficial, and I've talked about this for the last 3 years, is get at the app that the town apps that they have, Gov, it's a Gov app that they have for towns, GoGov. I'm not saying that has to be the one, but an app, I think it's like 30,000, and it allow the town give the residents all of those updates on a daily basis if there's traffic or if there's construction. And so people can be on notifications and have that at their fingertips. Everybody uses their cell phones these days. And to have that information is pretty crucial, especially with all the events that we have going on in the town. It would be beneficial to the town. So I would like the town or the town board to consider, at least another $30,000 to at least put into this budget to get something for town next year.
If the town leadership is on board with all of this, okay, I have found even with Urban SDK and my discussions with GoGov, they want us, all right? Their prices are negotiable, all right? And if we have permission to move ahead with something like this, we'll be able to negotiate a much better rate for the town of Cicero than what you're saying, Mike,
No,
$30,000.
I know, we talked
on that.
we talked about how much it cost. That's why I'm throwing that number out.
Okay.
But to be clear, is it the same software provider that provides them?
GoGov is a separate software.
Okay.
It's communication.
So you can't work, so what I've been saying, it's a different developer so that it's not like you can get a package deal.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
no,
there's a lot of different options. I want you guys to be aware, we have the ability now to push out messages to people. We have to want to do that. And we don't need to overwhelm people with text messages and things like that.
Does GoGov require you to would it require the residents to download a specific app onto their
Might be
phone?
an app, and it's something we can advertise on our website,
Yes.
all right?
It's very beneficial that, this day and age, we should connect with the residents more. As being in the town all the time as a supervisor in some of the departments, you'll see and hear and get the phone calls that the state's, a state road that they're paving today that we knew nothing about. Those are the things that we can immediately get out there that, listen, the bridge is projected to open on South Bay Road, November 30th. It's projected to open the roundabout at this certain time. They're paving down here, whatever that notification may be. There's an accident on 31 and 81. Please, take an alternate route. Anything we can do to connect to the residents of the town in a better way.
You can ask that, yeah. I completely agree on the utility of notifications, and this is not a counterpoint, this is a question, or, what I wonder is, I get text alerts from my kid's school, we get text alerts from the district, we get text alerts. I'm more likely to pay attention to a text alert than one of the billion notifications I get from the different apps on my phone. Because when I look at my text messages in the bottom of my phone, I see I've got 5 unread messages, and I go look, and one of them's from the district or from the school or something. Whereas, if you're like me and you forget to turn off notifications on a lot of your apps, you have 50 notifications, 50 apps you never use. So I'm not sure whether there's more, while completely agreeing on the utility of notifications, I just don't know whether a separate app that people have to download or a software or a system that allows us to send text alerts is better.
That's what these do, right? Right?
It
Wayne?
will, and I agree.
It'll do, well, so it's not an either or, it's a both. You can do text alerts or
What
the
works
app.
best. We'll
Okay.
trial this, but what I would suggest is that we survey our constituents and ask them what will work best for them. All right, we have Survey Monkey. Okay, and we get stuff out to people and find out, because if people aren't gonna do what Jonathan does, with shutting stuff off, because you don't want this thing, your phone ringing constantly, that's not the way to go.
Well, you can also reach out to other towns. There are
See
a lot
what
of
works.
municipalities out there that are on that. And what do they like about it? What do the residents like about it? I mean, I'd like to look at it at least.
No, I agree, and I think we should. What I can tell you with our website, and the push emails that we have, there's only about 1,900 people signed up for that.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
not a lot.
Okay, and that's probably people outside of the town too, news agencies, other things like that.
Yep, yep,
So we want to make sure we're thoughtful with this.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm-
young families coming in are not signing up for the push emails. I'll
Right.
tell you that right now. My circle of people like my generation, like they're just
Yeah,
not,
that-
that's not,
Click, click.
yeah, it's not happening. So I like this too. Not only, I think it's good for, one consistent complaint we've gotten is that there's not enough, showcasing. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that we're not showcasing it correctly. So I think, I agree that something else needs to be given, at least just to show that we're trying to advertise, everything that we're trying to get across to people. So it shows that we're putting in the effort to get that out to them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
that's,
you.
I imagine this works similar to the 81 Connect app that the state launched.
It's going to
I
be
know-
something similar to that.
I mean, I know that works very well. A lot of people use it, and people can choose whether they want push notifications, emails. I believe there's a text option, and people can use it for other things in there too, to see projects and other communications if they so choose. So I know that's been very helpful to a very lot of people the past couple of months. So if it's something similar to that, I think it's a great idea.
Sure.
So I guess my question is, what do we need to approve of tonight if we don't have an actual number to give it? Because you said that you could negotiate down. So what is it exactly that we're approving tonight?
The last time they gave us a price, Mike, it's when you and I talked with them about 2.5 years ago. They were around $30,000.
Right.
Okay, when I talked to them again for you in the last 3 or 4 months, they had dropped that considerably.
Okay, but here's a
Okay.
question I think Ashley's asking is, Mike, looks like you have some budget lines over there you were looking
Yeah,
at?
so
there money for that?
currently in the B fund, the contingency line has 10,000 left in it. I don't know if that can even be used for that. And there's 5,000 in the A fund still, so it's 15 total. We never use that money ever.
Okay.
It has never used it. Yeah.
So it won't show up as a year to date. That makes sense.
I'm okay with allocating that 10 grand towards it.
I mean, how much,
Right.
overall, John, you did this, how much, or Trey, either one of you, how much, if this was passed tonight, how much are we to the good? I didn't get a number. I don't have a number. How much does it give us?
On the very bottom of the sheet there, Tracy, and then on the, yes, that sheet. Right there. So we'd have, 193-ish under the tax cap.
193,000?
Yep.
I mean, I mean, we can't allocate 25,000 towards this tonight, towards it?
Mike, I also have a technology budget.
Well, I get that, but
I know.
you know, the new computers you're gonna have to buy and the new printers you're gonna have to buy.
Switches,
the-
things
the-
like that.
Yep, I know. I don't want to rob from Peter to pay Paul. Let's do it the right way, and if we can get the board to say, yeah, we'll put the money in, let's do it. Okay? Do you agree?
Mike, can you repeat what you were saying? You were taking it from a contingency budget that we weren't using? Sorry.
There's two contingency lines that exist, one in the A fund, one in the B fund. We've never spent any money in those
Right.
lines ever.
Yeah.
right?
so you're
And every
saying
year,
we-
there's always 100,000, always in there, never been spent. As of right now, in those two, there's 15 grand that does exist. We don't even know what the software we're gonna pick is.
I know.
I'm okay with allocating that money towards
me,
something,
but-
but we don't even know what it's
Yeah.
gonna be yet.
I like that plan of taking that 15 grand. And then if we are gonna do this year, then maybe at least we have 15 grand to start. And then if we have to dip into the tech budget for a little bit of it, then we have that. At least we're all on board with taking a look at this and finding the money that we need to. I'm in agreement with Mike that, rather than just throw 25 of what we've gained here, I would rather take it from the contingency budget. Does that sound fair to you as with the 15? Okay.
Well, my question though is, I believe what the comptroller was saying though, was that we do use that contingency. It just doesn't show up as a year to date because it's transferred to other lines and then spent.
Right, it ends up getting transferred to other lines towards the end of the year.
So if we
Pretty
use-
much
we
we
are-
use up all of it every year.
Okay, it just doesn't show, right.
Right.
okay.
Which means we just find places for it, which now we're finding a place for it early.
Places that
That's
we've
it.
already spent the money that need to have over expenditures.
Like a
taken
petty
care of.
cash. Well, kind of. It's like, what's the point of a budget if we're not gonna stick to it?
Okay, I'll ask this question. How much money do we have in the contingency fund that you have now?
I haven't made the budget transfers to take care of that, to use that yet. But we budgeted, I think it was 130,000 in the B fund last year, and I want to say 50,000 in A fund
Right,
last year.
so how much, you don't know how much money we have left in that contingency?
We haven't used it yet,
Well,
but
then
we
let's-
do have some, next board meeting, I'll have some budget mods to take care of some
Not of
over
$130,000
expenditures.
worth though.
But some of that's money that just gets put back in,
The general.
in the general,
Right.
right? Okay. So it's not like, yeah, because if we use 95% of it by now, he would know that.
Right. So why don't we take the 25 and transfer it in somehow or another? Or can you do a budget mod? Can you do that to put it into another line specific to what we're trying to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay,
So just make it a budget mod for next meeting. Then.
does that sound like a
That's,
plan?
that's fine. I would just, because I won't be here, I would suggest to future board members, give this a few years. If you have a low rate of sign up the first year, don't say, well, this isn't working, we should spend the money, because it's going to take some time. I think it will be useful. There will be utility to it. It's just going to take some time to get people on board.
Yeah, and I think the goal here is to showcase our effort in getting the communication out to the town as well. So it's not necessarily the amount of signups that we're looking at right away too.
Oh, no, I understand. I'm just saying at some point, there's going to be a cost benefit analysis. I'm just saying that point shouldn't be for a few years.
For
that's
sure.
all.
Okay, I have just a few more. Do you mind if I have a few more questions about this? No?
About which, yeah,
About-
go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about, I'm fine with the officers, you got their longevity, sick time, holiday uniform. The only thing couple things that I happened to talk to the chief about was, you're gonna take 75 from his recruitment and drop it down to 20,000. I'd rather see the 75 stay in there in his budget line specific to the recruitment. Because if we can find a couple, 2, 3 recruits and send them to school, at least using that money or having it available to him to do a recruit instead of taking it out of the new officer line, because if you obviously get a couple transfers over here, that money's gone. Right?
You know, if you get a couple laterals, keeping in mind the attrition that we have, how many projected retirements do we have next year, Chief?
Possibly
Including the one that's,
three.
so, I mean, the additional officers are additional positions that are not accounted for in with the attrition. And we sent 3 people to the academy, but 2 of them are gone. So the budget already assumes that we're going to have those people. So we, in order to actually utilize the money for these additional officers, which we want there in case we can get the people, because police officers are hard to come by, we would have to fill several slots in order to get there. And so the reduction from 75 to 20 was the chief's proposal in his initial budget. He recently made an alternate proposal. What to do with that, I take no position on that because I'm not going to be here to make that decision. But I don't think the line should go to 0 because there should be some money in there. I don't know that it's necessary to tax another 55,000 from the people when we would have to fill like 3 slots and then find 2 more people to utilize all the funds we've already allocated in this version of the budget. I don't think it's necessary. I see where you're coming from. I just don't think it's necessary. Because you'd have to have like 5 cops, and the likelihood of getting 5 next year total, I think is, I mean, I'd love to see it, but I think it's pretty low.
Okay, well then
You have to exceed 5 cops. You need more than 5.
well, let's talk about the incentive then. The chief asked for an incentive. We know that Camillus, we know that Manlius and DeWitt and North Syracuse, if you go on their website, you'll see that they're given a 10 to 15, I think $15,000 bonus, sign-on bonuses. 10 to 20,000. Now you look at it and say, well, how do we recruit? The $20,000 going to bring a cop here? You don't know. But we talked about what that recruitment is and how it works. And it works like this. It's a 3-year commitment. Over 3 years, the person gets paid. So you look at $20,000. Oh, we're going to give a cop $20,000. It doesn't necessarily work like that. It works over a 3-year period, and X amount of dollars gets put out every year. If we don't, and I know because it's nationwide. If we don't do something and we don't put some kind of sort of money towards this, the possibilities to the department are not going to be good. I don't think it's going to. We have Micron coming here. We have more traffic coming in this town. We're trying to recruit more police officers. We're losing officers to retirements. We have nobody to backfill them. We have to do something to get the officers in this department. What does that mean? I don't know.
How much success? I mean, my understanding is the village hasn't had a ton of success. They've been at 20 for a while. The
days of getting retirees are over with. Just use it. We've seen that a few years ago, raised our part-time pay rate. We hired a couple recruits. They don't make it through the first week of the academy. We had 5 recruits last year, 2 made it. We're doing more with less, and we're just struggling. And, I'm fearful of burnout, or honestly, them transferring to another department that's bigger, better, where they don't have to work as hard and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, the lateral incentive is not going to prevent that. I mean, we've offered, as long as we're going to do a deep dive here. I mean, we've offered part of the thinking with some of the things that we've offered in our more recent collective bargaining agreements, which I was proud to introduce, was foreign language proficiency incentives, college education incentives, to try to find ways to offer more, to recruit more. And we've had some success with that. Not as much as I think we'd hoped. We have a bit of a chicken and egg problem here. We're adding 2 more positions because we are a department that takes, you are all a department that takes an equivalent amount of calls to departments that have 2.5 times as many officers on duty at any given time. That is a reputation. Not everybody wants to work that hard. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I mean, that's call to call to call. That can burn you out over time. But we can't get people, we cannot relieve that problem unless we get people. But I guess my question is, again, how successful have these other departments been? I think that, and it's not something we're in a position to do, these shift to 10-hour shifts at Manlius and at Syracuse.
I'd have to have more.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's been big on their retention. I know that from talking to SPD.
Right, but
officers.
they also have 30, 40, 50 officers running a.
Oh, we
10-hour
don't have,
shift.
you and I
Yeah,
are in agreement on that. We don't have the personnel for that. I'm just saying though, that like, there's a lot of, it's not just money, you know,
Does the sign-on bonus that's spread out over 3 years help with keeping them? Do you think? Not just an incentive to bring them here, but to keep them so that they get through the academy and stick with it for a few years, do you think? Or-
Ashley, these are lateral transfers.
Yeah.
Other departments that
Right.
are already through the academy.
Right,
So they're already vested and they're already in. It's
right. But in terms of staying here,
Transfer we can have on the street in hopefully a month.
okay.
Brand new recruit, a bare minimum 10 months, if
Right.
they make it through the academy.
It just takes longer and a lot more money before we're getting anything out of them. Is there anything that we can offer them? I don't even know if this is possible, but I know for especially younger, newer, they're worried about their families. Is there anything that we can offer the family, like in terms of incentive, like family incentives? So I feel like there's, some longevity there
You know,
too.
we have a good officer wellness program. We're building on it. Sergeant Smith is doing a great job with it. We were just at a class last Thursday and Friday and, on building on it. We just received obviously a $15,000 grant that'll be on the agenda next, meeting, which part of that can go towards officer wellness. So, and part of the class last week, they pushed, you know, retention through good officer wellness programs. And that's
Yeah.
what we're working on, which includes families.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm wondering if like, I don't know, gym memberships, or they get childcare or something. I don't know, something
That's-
where it's like along those lines.
Didn't a senator come, Gillibrand, and offer up babysitting and
She was talking about,
childcare?
It's a couple years.
It didn't happen? Oh.
That was a
Think if we
bipartisan.
could, I don't know.
I
I'm going to
mean-
work on that in the future with you and try to think of something that could help the families. Because in my experience, when the wife and the kids are happy and feel like they're getting valued and taken care of and getting some kind of incentive, that changes things.
Well, I mean, as long as we're going in depth, I would say, and again, we don't have the personnel for it. One of the two things, one, we have an excellent low-cost health insurance, which is big for the families. And two, just for everybody's information, the big deal with 10-hour shifts is it allows them to work 4 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off, which
Yeah.
is a lot of time off, which means that if the officer is available to, those of us who had young kids know, you have to take a pediatrician all the time, you know, you have less time off for the other parent.
Yeah.
You know, less paid time off out of work, and that is big for families. But again, you need a lot bigger department than Cicero has for that. You know,
As I've
unfortunately.
mentioned in the past, you know, you look at the national standard, we're 12 cops under the standard.
Yes, I know
We're
that.
at 20, we should be at 30.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
Today, with Micron coming, and I keep talking about planning for the future.
Yeah.
And that's up to the current and future boards.
And that's why we've added, and that's why we're adding the 2 additional positions. The question is, how do we fill them?
Right.
I mean, I know Supervisor Argano, you've always been opposed in the past to bonuses for lateral transfers. I guess if it's not succeeding for other departments, my question is, how much utility is there in,
It
I don't
can't
know.
hurt to try.
No, I'm not opposed.
You were in the past, though. I mean,
Well, this was in the beginning stages of all of this. Who knew what was coming down the pike? In reality, we either got to do something or we're in trouble. And like I said at the budget workshop, what needs to happen with the department is, and you had the chiefs telling you, we need 20, 30 cops per 30,000 people here. We should have 30,000, 3,000 or 30 cops on our streets, no doubt in my mind. But again, what are the implications to the budget each year, and how do you get to that, and when do you end it, right? When does it starts today, and then when does it go? 5 years, 8 years? Is that what the progress is, and how we're going to achieve the 30 goal? Because in reality, every cop you add adds more to the budget. Budget cuts like this, these smaller budget cuts are minute to hiring a cop at $150,000. We know there's a cost of doing business. We know we want to keep our residents safe. We know that we have one of the best police departments out there, if not the best, and we want to keep our police department here. So how do we achieve that goal? That's
Well,
the question.
I mean, you've got the 20 in that budget. I mean, offer it if you want to pick a number. Again, that's a decision for next year, and offer 15 or 20, which seems to be comparable to what other departments are offering, and see if it works, I guess, and then make a decision from there.
right now because of, especially if anything's coming up with Syracuse in the first of the year, if the current board would authorize at least, you know, approval to get a flyer out there for a certain amount, that would help.
I mean, you have money in that line because some of those recruits that went to the academy are no longer there, correct?
They both washed out.
So, I mean, we're not voting on it tonight, but I don't have any problem. I mean, see if it works and then go from there. If it's, the village of North Syracuse is a unique case, because I think it's very small and that might serve as a disincentive for some people to lateral there, but you know, Cicero's not, so.
So we're allowed to put the stipulations on it that it has to be carried out over 3 years? I'm just learning here.
Yeah, DeWitt,
Most agencies do.
Okay.
DeWitt has a contract. Can you get that and send it to the board?
Out to 'em.
Okay. Yeah, send it. to
No, I mean, I'd say, like I
I
said,
think it would help keep them here longer. It's like they're signing up to at least 3 years kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like when they're taking that. So I think it does kind of put it in their mind, okay, I got to get settled here. And then the hope is that they're happy. We can keep them happy.
You know, I hear rumors about people that may want to come here, okay?
Okay.
Would 10, 15, $20,000 put them over the edge? Maybe. But we also strive on being family oriented here. So if people leaving an agency, they're leaving for a reason. And if they want to come to a family oriented, community policing based department, we're the place to come.
Yeah.
And that's what our reputation is.
That's why I'd like to find another thing to add to that, because I agree with you. I think it's more family oriented. It's the wife and the kids that are going to be looking for the different kind of move. So I'd love to be able to add something else to that if we can.
Mr. Douglas, did the money in the recruit budget now that we're not utilizing because the recruits left the academy, that could be carried over to that line for next year, couldn't it?
It would basically just be, yeah, fund balance next year. We just
Okay,
appropriate some
your
fund balance.
predecessor used some kind of terminology for doing
Encumbered?
impounding and encumbered, not impounded, encumbered and carried over.
Encumbrances have some legal requirements as far
Okay,
as
all right.
purchase orders and
Got it.
contracts and.
Okay. It seemed to me, I mean,
So why don't you?
if you've got the money, if you've got, well, you could leave that at 20, and then if you've got the money in the budget now, I don't know what's left in that line, just roll it, just, if we authorize it the next meeting, roll it over.
In theory, if we got somebody that was going to come here with that bonus, we could probably technically encumber it through like a contract.
I'll be quite honest, if we had someone apply today, by the time we do their background, it's gonna take, 2, 3, 4 weeks, to get them through their background, so it's gonna be close to the first of the year anyways.
Yeah, but he's saying that if you had someone that agreed to come on, you could do it. You could use the money from this year, even if the actual hire took place next year.
But what you're saying is you just want to make sure that the money is there and approved for that purpose so that you can put it in a flyer.
Yeah, money
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah, the money's there, no question. All right. We can talk about the next meeting.
Okay, and
But-
then the other one, Mike, you brought up that we got a contingency fund for drainage that that you wanted to use.
Thank you.
What's going on up here?
I was gonna ask about that too,
Oh.
if that was in that number.
So you,
saw.
you proposed, so if you don't know, if you weren't at the budget meeting, we have a Bellwood Creek area issue with drainage. And we use some of the, put some of the monies towards this project, but there was significantly low on finishing the project, correct, Mike? The
Say that
monies.
again?
So the Bellwood project, we needed, I think, Kate requested more money for the,
Kate requested 600,
right, and we only put in there 200.
250.
50.
And then 50 for, so a grand total in reality, I'll
Where's
show
that?
you
$1 million.
the budget here. So for those one-time expenses, you have, so backyard drainage, so that's at 500,000.
Yep.
That's what she requested, so no change there. Stormwater coalitions, 3,600. Then you get into the Bellwood, right? I remember her saying, Kate saying, there was going to be no construction next year at all. It was just going to be the Bellwood design, right? Design. So she asked for $50,000 and then you agreed to 50,000. And then the construction, she asked for 600,000 for this coming year.
Yep.
And then in the budget, it was 25 or 250
Yep.
is what it was.
But
Yeah.
she said there's going to be no construction.
No construction this coming year. Yeah. I do agree with putting money in that line, so you don't have
So-
to be hammered next year with it. But I just wanted to see if you could, because it's a one-time expense, taking that out of the fund balance,
Out of the contingency fund, out of there,
out of the
the
drainage.
drainage fund balance,
yep,
yeah.
fund
which leaves us, I think, what was it, 100,000, John?
100,000.
100,000.
And how do we fill that one back up when you need it?
She was just asking the question, Mike.
No, I'm just asking you.
What?
When you have to fill it back up?
The same way you fill up any other.
Yeah,
You know,
over
if, I
budget.
mean, if you're, if you
Right.
have a year when you don't utilize all of your.
You got a budget?
Right.
Okay.
Like, for example, if there's gonna be, for example, if there's gonna be no construction next year, it would remain in the fund balance because it's not gonna be appropriated, correct?
Yeah, it would just sit there.
Unless another emergency fund, project comes through. Can be used for that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's not gonna be used for the construction because there's gonna be no construction next year, correct?
Right.
Sorry, just difficult for me to tax 250,000, you
Don't
know.
disagree. Don't disagree.
I don't think we should have a bunch of extra money just in case in all of these things. It's like, what's the point of a budget if we have that? So,
Well, sometimes when you have some extra budget lines, so contingency, well, I won't use I'll use the police department as an example. Before I came here, they would either ban 6 or 8 or 10 cars, police cars, at a tune of $500,000. They're paying 30,000 in fees, and then it lasts for 5 years or 4 years, however long you want to go for. So we put a budget line in there, like a fund, and we now put X amount of dollars in, whether it's 75 or 100. So in 4 years, and your 8 police cars are needed to be replaced, you're not whacking another $400,000 or $500,000 or banning a car and wasting money on interest rates, or interest, should I say, for the vans. And I think we did the same thing with Chris. We put away some money for a sewer truck, which hopefully we have some good news for you at the next meeting. I'll let you know on that one.
Well, I mean, and I support the creation of reserve funds. And one of the benefits of ARPA was it allowed us to get out of the borrowing cycle, pay cash for some things, and then establish these reserve funds
To plan.
to plan. Yes, absolutely. And we have that for the police, we have that for parks, et cetera. I don't know that $250,000 for this one-time I mean, that is for continuing ongoing expenses. That's of a different magnitude than this. But again, that's just my opinion.
No, that is absolutely true. But again, we have some, I think we took it out of the contingency or the fund balance, the last one for the emergency project that we had on over in the area off McKinley. You know, and some of these bigger projects that we need to look at down the road in the backyards of some of these folks' houses really need to be, and we're only allotted, I think, 400,000 or 500,000 to do some of these projects. And that's not really a lot of money when it comes to a contractor who's prevailing wages. But thank you for Chris for going out and tackling some of those off-road drainage problems that we have, which in one of the projects saved us over probably, I'd say, over $80,000 to $100,000 in one of the projects off of South Bay Road. And some of the other projects that they usually are now doing off-road that they haven't done before. So Chris, thank you very much for that. Does anybody else have any questions about this? I just had a couple on Mike's part of it. I saw you took 2,000 out from the for the historian. Is that for the Historical Society?
You can add it back in.
Okay.
I was just trying to make as many cuts to discuss as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just, these are some of the things that I would
Mhm.
actually ask for tonight, to add that 2,000 back into that. And I'd like to see some contingency fund from the 115 to 130. I'd like to see some of that, at least maybe half of it put back in the contingency, or a little bit of it put back in the contingency. You don't know. I mean, and I think I've talked to the assessor today, the $3,000 that we took out of that, the county those are, Carrie, do you want to comment on that a little bit about the county makes us the receivers, the tax receiver?
We're already paying over 18,000 to the county, just for the county to supply all of our county tax bills, to all of the county Cicero, and our school tax bill to all of the county Cicero. And we also have to pay for county tax postage, $4,600. So far this year, our bill, the county, 2,000, almost 23,000. So if we cut our contractual, we're already over budget. So if we cut it down to 15,000, we're over by 8,000 already. So we're gonna have your opinion.
I see it. Sorry, I don't like.
Mike, what page are you on? Mike, what page are you on? Akala. Thank you.
Bernard, it says year to date right now, it's 7,000 on contractual, 7,800 or 7,184. And then postage currently, tax collector is 4,610 and 16,000 was budgeted.
So those numbers are also from, at this point, over a month ago. I believe one of those bills has been due since then.
Okay.
All right, so we're working off of old data.
Right. And then there's one more that, or two more that I believe the supervisor's contractual is 5,000. You took 2,000 out. We're going to send the supervisor and the other one's the town board contractual. How much is the town board contractual? All of 12,000, Mike?
No,
How much is it?
I gotta go back to it.
Page 14.
Town board currently has spent 800 and, well, year to date on here was $860.
Yeah, but how much is
It was 20,000 budgeted and I suggested a cut of 12.
It does not seem unreasonable on that one.
Okay.
And
just
then I
think
know I was asked about the supervisor as well.
That's 5,000.
That was contractual at 5,000. Year to date, we're at 1,055. I suggested cutting 2, which would bring us to 3, which is still over year to date.
Right, but it would be nice to, they have to go to the two New York City Association of Towns, and then there's another one that they should be, that the supervisor should go to as well. And then the town board should also be able to go to some of those, and I think 8,000 may be enough for that one. But as much training as we can get this town board folks that are here today, and then the new town board members and the new supervisor, we should be allowing them to use some of the funds to get some more training, which would be a benefit to all of us.
Is that something that's been done in the past?
Yeah, I believe,
The
yeah,
Association of Towns thing has.
I've heard that in the 2 years that I've been here, so I'm
Last-
not sure why we're budgeting for something
Last
that's not
year-
being offered.
Last year at the, I believe it was the organizational meeting, that we had a meeting, we talked about associations of towns, that the supervisor goes, and then Mike Bacallo, if I don't remember correctly, said, does anybody else want to go? And everybody was like, no, I don't want to go. These are good training programs for everybody to go to. They should go, and they should, there's many classes you can go to talk about budgeting. There's all kinds of stuff to go to with everyone. There's a permit training that comes up too every year. So,
Well, I think that the 8,000 in the town board should be sufficient for that.
so that should be good, but 5,000 should be for the contingents of the supervisor, and that also is for stuff that he may want to get for his office.
I think it's fine the way that you had it, taking it off. I don't think we need to put that back in there, in my opinion.
I'm okay. I'm okay restoring it. I think the town board is sufficient at the 8,000. I'm fine restoring the supervisor one.
I'm not. I think it's unnecessary,
Well,
my opinion.
Well, you know, I don't want to make a big deal out of all this, but we have a new supervisor who's going to take over. We need to give him the available tools to be able to do this job. And if we don't do that, and we don't allow him to go to the training or get the services and the expertise that he should have, what are we doing?
There's enough funds in there for him to be able to do that. You're
$2,500?
increasing the amount that you even had, and you had more than enough. to
It's
be able to do what you
5,000.
needed to do.
It's 5,000. I sat in the office for 4 years. I've never bought a new desk. I've never bought anything because I saved the town money. I even painted the office myself. And it cost a gallon of paint. So in going to a training seminar and a class would be beneficial to the new guy. You don't, I mean, look, it's $5,000.
Raise people's taxes so that you can replace your desk.
You're not, you're still $193,000 to the good without going over the 2% tax cap.
Okay. I just said my opinion. I'm sticking with it. I
I-
think that's okay.
I would support restoring that, the supervisor's line. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Just to give everybody a background, I tried to find cuts in every,
No, I think it's
Every-
clear you're trying to
every
get everybody-
area.
Everybody get a haircut. That's clear. I think your intent.
And you were looking at it as a whole. That's why I feel like we should, and that's why we discussed this, and that's why we should stick with it. And that's my opinion. 1 of 5. That's fine.
I'm pretty sure there's probably $5,000 available this year to allocate that money towards next year.
Well, you can't really do it that way, though. He was telling us. It would just go back in the fund balance. You can't encumber it unless it's for a specific like purchase or contract or something.
It'd be that.
But
Well,
you-
no,
but you don't know what
you'd
it
have
is
to
yet.
have, you'd have to, yeah, you'd have to have it.
Alright.
You can't do it that way. So I support restoring it so that just the supervisor one, not the town board one. The town board one's more than sufficient.
Okay, and, you know, I like the fact that you went through, Mike, you went through all these budget lines, you cut X amount of dollars out of there. I like that. That's good, all said and good, but next year, I just want the folks to know who are on the board here that it's gonna be a tight ship next year if you're gonna try to stay below the tax cap. With these cuts here and using fund balance, I think we used how much fund balance this year? $1.2 million. That's not gonna be good if you keep using that kind of fund balance every year. We do get restored fund balance, either through mortgage, but nobody's remortgaging their houses, so we're not getting any money there. Mortgage.
Mortgage reporting tax,
Right.
that's from mortgages in general, not just
Well,
financing.
But we're not selling many houses in the town, here and there. So it's
No,
not like.
commercial too, though, not just residential.
But it was not like that, 4 or 5 years ago. But then again, when the interest rate went up, we scored on that. We did well. But I just want everybody to know that it may not be so easy next year. So you didn't restore anything in historical or contingency?
I think he said to restore the historian, which I would agree with.
The what, historian?
Yeah.
I'll just say it again, Mr. Supervisor. I was just looking for funds in every area.
I mean, your proposed preliminary budget, just for point of fact, though, included 1.2 million
Correct.
in fund balance allocation, which was the highest since 2022.
We can do 800 like we did the year before.
Well,
Contractual obligations
go up. So where are we at? Do we have, I mean, I think we have votes to restore the supervisor's contingency. The historian, or how does everybody feel about that? You're good with that?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm good with
we
it.
have 3 for that. Okay, what else have we got? Didn't modify the police one at all.
Is this included in the fund balance, the 25?
The
The
250, you mean?
Yeah,
No.
Is that calculated in that, Mr.?
That should be on the summary sheet, yes.
should be.
Okay,
The contingency fund for the town should be raised back up. You only left them with $15,000 in there. Something should happen. We need some money.
So for me, my issue is we keep spending out of contingency, which is the opposite of transparency for the people and how their taxes are being spent. That is my opinion. So, you know, if the supervisor needs a new desk, it should be budgeted for a new desk. If we need it for a new truck, then it should say a truck. I don't like a bunch of contingency benefits that we're pulling from because that's the opposite of transparency. So if you see me kind of being a stickler with that, that's where that's coming from. And I appreciate that we're trying to take a little bit of a haircut to stay under the tax cap. So
well, I mean,
you're saying no, that's where that's coming from.
part of the purpose of the contingency is things that were not foreseen at the time of the budget. I mean, the thing is, though, if we have a contingency that makes it through to the 12th month of the year, not being used, you have to wonder how much of it's,
Stan, I know what the definition of a contingency
I
is.
wasn't done. You have to wonder how much of it's being put in there so it can be carried over and just returned to the fund balance. So,
Ooh, I felt that.
I'm sorry. Should have done a vampire.
I think the conversation goes towards contractual as well, right? It'd be nice if those were,
More detailed?
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Douglas, does every town just put everything in contractual and lump it together? Because that's bothered me since I got here.
Well, we have it split out a lot further than other towns often do. Because pretty much when that rolls up to the AFR at the end of the year, it'll be whatever the department is and 1.4 contractual line. We could try and split it out more. We'll probably have twice as many pages on the budget to do that, but we could do that.
Well, I'm not suggesting it's not going to matter to me anyway.
I
I'm
mean-
just curious. I'm not going to be in the part of this process. I'm just curious because
Sorry. It's fire call. Sorry. Fire call. My wife doesn't want the siren, so I play arcade. I apologize.
That's fair. No, it's to her point about transparency, like everything seems to come to a contractual. It seems like a catch-all. That's all.
It'd be nice if we could do that next year.
We can look at that.
Well, you've been kind of quiet, Mr. Marizio. Do you have any, Counselor?
I'm glad that we went through and looked at various, I think the historian is good to go back. And that was their whole line, right?
No,
No, we couldn't do that. We're statutorily required to have the historian and pay them.
I'll look it up for you. There was nothing that I subtracted that was completely eliminated. I'm gonna pass that.
What about the contingencies while he's looking, Counselor Marizio? What do you think?
How much do you want to try to put back in? I think we needed to shape some of that.
75,000.
One.
No, just the one for the 75,000 for the B fund contingency. There's another is there another contingency I didn't see?
There's two, one in the A and one in the B. The A was 35,000, I believe,
And you reduced it to,
5,000,
okay, and the B was Mr.
125,000. So there's 10,000 left in that. Yeah, 30, no, it was 40,000. I apologize. 40,000 was 30,000 last year. And of course, year to date's zero. And then $40,000 is the budget for this year. And then I just said, cut it down to 5. We can discuss.
I would say at least 75 in that contingency fund.
So you want to go up from, you want to go up from
B.
40?
The B, 15, the 115 you minused out of there.
Oh,
I'd say you just make the total 75 instead of 125.
And then while we're thinking about that, just to give everybody, the historian
Yep.
was budgeted for 4,700. Year to date is 0. And the original budget back in 2025 was 2,200. So I just said, make it 2,000, cut the 4,700 to, cut it by 2,000. You're still over the
I don't
200.
think we
two-
paid, I don't think we paid the historian yet. And we didn't, it was, how much? 4,700?
Yeah,
4,700 was the budget. And then
Double.
the original
You mean this budget or last year's budget?
this year's,
2026
Yeah, this year's
for
budget.
this year that we're voting on is
Yep.
4,700.
Yep.
Last year was 2,200 and year to date is 0. And then in 2024, it was 2,200 as well.
That can't be right because the historian got paid 700 and we gave them, I think, 1,500 or so. I can't remember, I don't recall, but that can't be right
Did that already get paid out?
for
Yeah.
this year.
yeah, I think it did, didn't it?
What page are you on?
Tony,
I don't have page
did you get your money
numbers.
this year what's her name? You did, so it's not done yet. It's not the end of the year. Okay.
Thank you.
Because you have to pay her 7. It was 4,000 for them. It was 700 for the historian.
So even with the 2,000 off though, it's still higher than last year's budget, correct?
Is this what we agreed to with the schoolhouse?
This is for the schoolhouse money.
Yeah, that was what we already agreed contractually to pay, right?
So 4,000 for the schoolhouse and 700 for the.
Historian, I got it. Yep.
And to make that easier, just for
We already-
next year, if you could reline that. But that was
That's fair.
Yeah.
Be what?
He's saying if you could just break that out.
Oh, I got you.
Just more detail.
No, for the parking lot and hopefully a facade for front of the Parks building and new doors in the front. And I'm not even sure that's gonna even open.
Do.
We did make changes, so we should see where we're at.
So you got 2,000 going back to the historian and you're going back on the what was the amount on the supervisor one, Tracy? 5,000? So if it's just those two things, it'll just be a $7,000 increase.
I feel like we made more changes than that. Okay.
Tax collector.
Yeah, we added that back in.
Tax
I believe,
collector,
yeah.
5,000.
So it'll be 12,000.
The assessor's not here, so I'm not sure, and I know they do a mailing, so how much was in the assessor's line, Mike?
Oh, I passed that a few seconds ago.
I mean, if we,
Posted?
yeah, we just have to be careful.
I didn't touch postage.
No, contractual. Because I don't know what these folks use their contractuals for.
They shouldn't be. They should be using postage.
Well, I don't know if it's I'm not saying it's for posted, Mike. I just
Oh,
don't
okay.
know what it's for.
Okay.
Contractual, that for 8,000 in the original.
What they use.
Last year, 4,127.
Do we know what they did, Trey, what they use that contractual for, by any chance?
So that's historically for trainings, for, let me see. Believe that's where one piece of their software was lumped into in prior years. We did kind of break it out, but not for the full amount at some point.
Yes, software is 2,000 budgeted for this year.
Is it gonna get us to where we gotta go with cutting 3,000? That's the question. I just have a question. Is a 3,000 taken out of their contractual going to make them achieve their goal for the year?
Just looking at the trend over the last few years, I don't think it would change much.
Yeah, so for
go?
the actual expenditure in 2022 was 5,400. Then there was actual 11,000 in 2023, 6,000 in 2024. And then original budget in 2025 was 11. And then 4,100 was actually spent year to date. That's why I said 3.
I think the last one left was the contingency fund for 75.
You want to talk about anything going on?
Yeah, I'm okay. Contingency a little bit outside, so.
Need a safety net in there. A little bit of a safety net would be.
You know, as well as I do, what could happen. You know as well as I do. You've been here, you know it. Not like you don't.
You want 75 and B? Sorry.
And the B was 1.5.
Can we, put $50,000 for the B fund contingency and 20 for the A fund contingency, please?
That was 40 for B fund and 50 for B fund.
20.
I understand the need for contingency funds, but at the same time, they cannot and should not be used as oh, we've got money left over, which I'm not saying is everybody. I'm not saying that happens every year, but I think it has happened. One of the unfortunate things of budgeting this way and looking at year-to-dates is it gives an incentive to spend when it's not necessarily necessary. So I think we need to be careful allocating too much. Well, we have to plan for emergencies and be prepared for them, and understanding that there are unforeseen events, we have to be careful with using it as, oh, we've got money there, let's just go ahead. Especially as our taxes continue to go up, as our expenses continue to go up, and as wages do not increase as fast as expenses. It is very expensive to raise a family, and we should all be cognizant of our part in that. That's where I'm at on it anyway.
So with those changes, it would be an $82,000 increase from where it is on the summary.
What's the percentage, Bernard? Take your time.
It's about a 5% increase from the prior year, $20,239,027 total.
I'm not for large contingency budgets. I think that there's no transparency in that. And when you're getting an increase in your taxes, I think it's unfair. Because you don't know where that money is going or how it's being spent or how it's being rolled over. So if we need to add a line for something specific, because historically it's shown that we need that money for something specific, then the people deserve to know where that money is being spent. So I am not for the contingency budget.
Well, I'm running the meeting, but I'm asking you if you're okay with whatever's going on here, if that's, if you,
I don't like every aspect of it, but I've never been 100%.
okay, but then let's.
I've never been 100% happy with any budget that
Okay,
I've
so
voted on.
then let's have, you want to put less in the contingency fund?
I'm prepared to vote on I'm prepared to vote as a whole.
Yeah.
On what's been proposed. I've never been 100% happy with every item and every budget I voted for, and that this is my 10th time. So I'm prepared to vote on what's proposed. If anybody else wants to make any changes, that's fine. I'm prepared to vote.
You prepared to vote, Michael?
Yes, sir.
Are you good with this?
I'm prepared to vote.
Are you prepared to vote?
Yep.
How about you? Okay. Okay, clerk.
Oh, we got to open
still
the
a public
meeting.
hearing? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gee,
7:40. Thank you for that.
Ms. Castleman.
you kept me busy tonight. Okay, 7:40, open the public hearing. Anybody want to come up and speak for or against the budget proposal? Does anybody want to come up and speak for or against? No? Okay. 7:40. Close the public hearing at 7:40. Okay, move the adoption resolution to approve the 2026 final budget, including special districts as amended. Tracy?
Well, I'll second.
What, you'll second?
Someone had a second.
This is not including the fire budgets, just
No.
to make sure we are.
For
correct.
clarification,
Good
thank
call.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Counselor Bacallo, yes. Counselor Hogan,
Sorry, I have a question. Are we going with the amendments that we said to him then?
No, as amended by us up here.
Since it is discussion, Mr. Supervisor, I think you have the full report of what changed, or no, Bernard, do you have the full report of what changed? Just for everyone's clarification, we'll go
that
through
would be
with
great.
Yes, it was adding 2,000 back to historian. We are adding the back up to the 5,000, or adding the 5,000 to the supervisor contractual. 5,000 back to the tax receiver. 50,000 to the B fund contingency, 20,000 to the A fund contingency.
We were not adding, we were restoring them to those levels.
Right.
Okay, just wanted to clarify because that would make a difference. Okay. Yes, I think the supervisor's motion was on it as amended, correct?
Right, and this is under the tax cap, the 2% tax cap as well.
That's a half point
What did
later.
we say? 2% tax cap.
Did I say
2%.
2% tax cap? You know,
It's never 2%.
No. Okay, so
Counselor Hogan,
No.
Counselor Maurizio,
Yes.
Counselor Kurt,
yes,
Counselor Bacallo,
No.
Supervisor Aragano.
give me a second. Yes. And we have one agenda item. Move for the adoption resolution to accept the New York State DCJS grant T00475 GM Public Safety Program, $15,000.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Or abstain? Passed.
Move to adjourn.
Absolutely. All in favor?
Aye.